5 minutes. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Romantasy Roundtable, a tale of Rick and Roses. This is Rick, and I'm joined by my roses.
Amanda.
And Kim.
And we're going to swing this a little this way. So we're back. It's been a while for you, but a day for us. So, we record and I post this after the fact. So we hope you've done your homework and have read up through, that's right, part 1 of Iron Flame.
Fifth Wing.
The sequel. Can all have a word.
Was I calling it something else too?
I don't remember.
Yeah. So we have just a little FYI. We plan to read this in parts. We plan to read chapters 1 through 18. That fell through. Then we were like, let's just read all part 1, and we did that. So I need a little bit of a refresher on what happened in chapters 1 through 18. Okay, so to catch you up, right, at the end of Fourth Wing, right, we find out that Brennan is alive. We find out that there are Wyvern
and Venon.
And Violet got all sorts of effed up with some poison. Brennan saves her. Close curtains. End of book 1. So we awaken. Violet is with Brennan, right? She's told about the revolution, and we are there with the, what are they called with the neck?
What?
The marked ones.
The marked ones.
The neck?
Yeah, they got the thing on the neck, right?
It's not all on their neck.
It's only Zaden, isn't it? All right.
He has the largest one, so it goes all the way up his arm and neck.
I hate the face you're making. I hate it.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, we don't have time for this.
No.
What? What? I didn't say anything.
Kim and I are holding stuffed animals again today.
I don't have anything.
There's
I'm feeling all right.
Behind you.
I'm feeling all right.
Okay, so she's in Aretia, which is...
Oh, is that how you say it?
How do you say it?
I said Aretia.
Oh.
How did you say it?
Aretia.
That makes sense.
Because
it's close to your daughter's name.
I don't know.
All right. Well, they're in that place, and she's learning all the truths. And one of the truths is that they thought that Aretia was destroyed, and it's not. So that's significant. I don't think we have time to go chapter by chapter.
No, we don't.
I'm combining some stuff.
I'm showing you. So I'm scrolling through. This isn't chapter by chapter. So it's sort of just main points of the story.
So I think one of the big things that comes to the surface in the early part of part 1 is Violet's distrust and hurt around the secrets that Zaden has kept from her. And I know that we all have different opinions about this, so I want us to start there.
Sure. I know we disagree, Amanda, but I think she needs to get over it. I really, really think she's holding on to a little bit too much. Sure, initially you can have your feelings, but it's for the greater good. It's not and they hadn't been in a relationship for years, maybe months, right?
The greater good. I am your wife. I am the greatest good that you're ever gonna know.
What movie's from Kim?
I don't know.
That's The Incredibles.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I think it's relevant here, by the way.
Yeah.
Go on.
Maybe. I don't know. Not yet. It's a little too early for her to be pulling that card. And I don't know. I think she just needs to get over it. He's trying to save everybody. He's proven himself over and over again. That's my thoughts.
And I had said when we talked about Fourth Wing that I really hated kind of the back and forth of their sort of initial tension in their love story. And this is part 2 of that. And so likewise, I continue to hate it. Also, withholding affection is manipulative. And so that feels gross to me. That's her way of dealing with it, is being I love you, but I'm not actually just going to say it. And I love you, but I'm not actually going to let you touch me. And so like Rick, I think that she needs to let it go. I think they just need to talk it out once and move forward.
I've gone on a journey with this because at the end of that last episode we recorded for Fourth Wing, I was like, yeah, Rick, you're right. She's overreacting. And then I forgot that I felt that way until I listened back to our episode because I don't feel that way at the beginning of part 1. I think that him not telling her about her brother, while I understand that it's for the greater good, and I think Violet understands that it's for the greater good, I think that her hurt is valid, and I think two things can be true. She can understand that it's for the greater good, and she's not icing him out completely. She's just saying, I need time. And I think that's a reasonable response. I also think, like, she's not... I just feel like in this moment, he hasn't earned her honesty, her vulnerability, her willingness to share every part of herself. And so I don't see it as her withholding affection. Where I start to get annoyed is when she's like, well, sleep with me anyway.
Yeah. I was waiting for us to get there.
And then I was like, girl,
Yeah.
like, can we just, like, if you're, like, no one's going to hold it against you if you decide that you're ready to forgive him, you're ready to move on. But, like, you can't be like, I don't know, you can't have it both ways. Like, you either need
Agreed.
to be giving it space and time, or be ready to move forward with a relationship. I do think by the end of part 1, she is ready to move forward with a relationship, and that's fine. But I went on a real journey with this and with her, where I was like, get it together by the end. And she does get it together.
So they return to Basgiath. I don't know how we're pronouncing it.
The author says Basgiath.
Ooh, that's not how I would have.
I don't
said
like
that.
it.
Yeah.
But that's what she says.
Yeah, well, she can be wrong. She's allowed to be wrong.
She wrote it.
She's allowed to be wrong. Annie says that she's a bad fantasy writer.
Okay, I don't agree. We've read bad fantasy writing.
You can't
This
just
is
throw
not
in
it.
a wild opinion like that.
Okay, well, we're going to have Annie on the pod to talk about that.
All right, so they go back to Basgiath. That's what it is to me. And I was like, all right, what's going to happen here? Like, we know some stuff went down. I was very curious to see how it went. And Dane's father, everyone was shocked that they came back alive. And she kind of put him in check, right? And Mama Sorengale was like, peace, Dane's dad, you got to go. You messed this up. And, a quote that I think he says to her that is pretty relevant through all part 1 is he says, secrets die with the keeper, or something along those lines, right? And we hear that over and over again. But I was really interested to see where this went, knowing that they knew a lot of stuff and, nobody, all the information that they knew.
Yeah, I'd like to amend what we've been saying and say that Dane is Prince Bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Because his dad
Top.
is King Bitch.
Totally. Absolutely.
And something else that happens when they go back to Basgiath is that people are just, like, trying to kill people.
Oh, yeah, all day.
This, like, there's all these, like, assassination attempts on the folks who were in... I gotta be honest with you guys, I have not retained the name of a single place in this whole novel.
Oh, yeah, I'm struggling with the names. There was, like, Jack Part 2. So, like, they're going to, like, the parapet and watching people. And, like, Jack Part 2, like, rolls up on the parapet and just, like football tackle someone off the parapet.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that Violet is like, I'm not interested in learning all these people's names, because as I've stated on every single episode of this podcast, I'm not interested in learning these people's names. But there are 2 first years who I think are really important that we need to talk about.
Sloan.
Who's the second one?
Aric.
Who?
Oh, Aric. Yeah.
Who?
Aric.
Oh, Aric. I absolutely know what you're talking about right now. Yeah. I'm
Aric.
like, who's Aric?
Aric.
Please, can we call him? That's it. Done.
His name is Aric.
Aric.
All right, let's talk about Sloan first, though.
All right. Sloan. I forgot about Sloan for a little bit. Sloan is the sister of Liam. Oh, my God.
Rip.
I can't get over that.
Shouts out for Liam.
God, Liam, I love him. His sister Liam, and this did not go how I thought it was going to go. Sloan comes in on the parapet, and Violet is like, oh my God, you're the one I have to protect. Let me help you. And Sloan looks at her. He's like, I fucking hate you, bitch. And I was like, I was not ready for that.
And it's the end of part 1, and she does hate her.
She still hates her.
She's holding on.
Yeah, but I do think, it's helpful because, like, Imogen is able to support Sloan a little bit, and Violet is able to... I feel like Violet gets to a place by the end of part 1 where she's like, all right, Sloan, you hate me, but here's the thing you have to listen to whether you like me or not. And I think she's, like, managed it well, but I look forward to their emerging friendship.
I really like... Sorry, go ahead, Kim.
I was just gonna say, I also feel that Violet manipulates this situation in what feels like an ugly way to me, in that Liam had written Sloan a letter
Oh.
every
Yeah, I didn't
week
like
of
this.
first year, and Violet was like, I will give you a letter if you show up to train with Imogen, but I'll only give you one each time. And so again, it's just like, yeah, that feels
Yeah.
really icky.
I
Like,
think-
those are from her brother, like she deserves to have
Yeah,
them.
and I think you saying that reminds me of something from the Book of Brennan in the first book, where it's like, use all of your tools at your disposal. Like, I think that is what Violet is doing, and she's not 100% good all of the time.
Yeah,
And so I think
fair.
sometimes when she's using all the tools at her disposal, I'm like, ick.
Yeah, but I really liked that they went in a different direction with that. I was expecting Sloan to come and be like, oh my god, help me, and they didn't go that way. I liked that. That was really good, and it was a nice way to keep Liam going in the story.
Aric?
Yeah. So and then Aric is the son of the king that I forgot there was a king, King Guy,
Right? What is his name?
King Guy.
No idea.
His name is King.
As we know, I'm always requesting to remember less information about fewer people.
There's things in here I don't know a lot about. So yeah, all right. So he's the son of King Guy, and he's there because he wants to be. He knows what's going on actually, right? He like pulls. He's like walking with Violet at one point, and he's like, "Yeah, I know," and she's like, "Wait, you know what?" He's like, "Yeah, I know everything. That's why I'm here." So I kind of like that, and that was going good.
We're jumping ahead a little bit, but even though he knows everything, he hates Zaden.
Oh my god, he hates
him.
Yeah, that's towards the end, but yeah, he hates him so much. All right, so they're there at the college.
So context, though.
Sorry, go ahead.
Zaden did kill his brother.
Zaden did, in fact, kill his brother, and Zaden says, I'm not sorry I killed your brother, because your brother sucked.
And we were getting there, Kim.
Were we?
We were gonna get there.
Okay.
I think we're looking at the clock. We got like
Everyone in this room woke up today and chose violence. Just want you all to know that.
against me for some reason.
No.
And I don't know why. So, all right. So what happens after this? They're in school for a little bit, and I actually thought this was fine. It was a little bit boring. Nothing really too much happens to me here. But the next thing that I remember is, Violet has to, go meet up with Zaden every 7 days.
Well, she goes every 2 weeks.
Right, he
And
goes-
the alternating weeks, he comes to her.
Right.
Which is longer than the dragons. Guys, the dragons? I learned important information.
What did you learn?
Scale
Seagull.
means shadow.
Oh.
And Tarniach means thunder.
Did not know that.
And the other dragons' names mean things in Scots Gaelic that are relevant.
What about Andununununum?
Oh, and Darna means something.
It's Andununununum.
I don't remember what it means. I'm gonna look it up.
Cute
while
baby dragon.
She
Keep
is not
talking.
a cute baby dragon anymore.
Talk about Andarna.
No, she's a sullen teenager dragon.
Yeah, she's like, it's not a phase mom, and she's being a real jerk at times. Like Tarn is being like a real funny like dad to her. He's like, shut up. He's like, I hate teenagers. It's pretty funny. But then she goes to sleep, and she doesn't wake up. Like,
I mean, she does wake up a little bit, multiple times.
she like wakes up and is like, what happened? And they're like, go back to bed.
Right. But
But-
she is in a very long, dreamless sleep. Dreamless sleep.
And Darna's full name means second honor in Gaelic.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so she sleeps all through part one. And she's like sleeping now and basically throughout the rest of the chapter. But they have to go back and forth, and then we get
They
introduced.
do carry her little sleepy self, though.
Yeah, at
At
times,
the end
yeah.
of part one.
Then we get introduced to this book's. What was her name? I told you about it when she wasn't here. Harry Potter.
What?
Oh, Umbridge.
This is this book's Umbridge, Varish. So we have General Varish, who is
Boo.
Boo. Who
I
is
described as Palpatine, and that was apparently not
Palpatine's way
acceptable.
better.
I don't think either of those are right, but I don't have a better.
How is he not
analog.
Umbridge?
I don't know. I mean.
So we have the evil Professor Varish, who's a commander, and he's put in to basically like mess with Violet the entire time. And anytime that they're trying to go meet up with Zaden, he's trying to mess it up, and he's essentially trying to kill her at points. So that's what's happening there. And wow, they're playing with their stuffies right now. That's cute. Then a whole bunch of assassinations start to happen, as you had mentioned. We have Patty just right here, not a character in the book. It's Stuffy that Amanda's holding.
She's acting out what you're talking about.
All right. So this one is the first one that caught me off guard. When they're training on the mat, right? A character who I was starting to get into, Nadine. I was like, all right, I'm feeling you. You're part of the squad. I'm with you.
Rip.
Yeah, dude. Like, Jack Part 2, like, walks up and says, who's Violet Sorengale? And Nadine jokes around. She's like, I am. And he just snaps her neck and kills her, like, out of nowhere. That was pretty cool. Thoughts on that? No? All right, we'll be moving on. All right. So what's going on next? I need a little help in moving around, guys. So
okay, other things that we should talk about are her relationships with her friends.
Oh, yeah.
Rhiannon and Riddick, and who's the third one? Sawyer. So those are like her 3 besties. They've been together, since first year. And particularly with Rhiannon, Violet is really struggling with lying to her.
And she has to.
And Zaden is like, you gotta keep your friends not close. And Violet's like, I'm not like you. And I don't know, it's like tough. And she, Rhiannon comes to her and she's like, I know you're not okay. And I understand that you don't feel like you can talk to me, but like this sucks. Eventually she tells all of them. She tells them.
So she has to, because she's like helping Zaden transport the weapons. Oh, I don't even know how we talk about this. There's like wards that keep the Venon out.
Girl, I don't know how to talk about the wards.
We'll get there. Focus on the friends for now.
Okay. Well, we have to move a little bit along with the story. So where do we want to go from here? What do we want to talk about? How do we advance?
We're talking about the friends.
The friends?
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
what we were talking about.
All right.
Well, and I would like to add that I think
God,
I have thoughts. That I feel like Rhiannon is a great choice for being their squad leader, because she is very measured and matured about how she's responding to Violet, despite the fact that Violet has in essence ghosted the group chat here. And is not responding and not sharing any information. And Rhiannon, again, has been very proactive about reaching out to her and noting it multiple times until, yes, the circumstances arrive where Violet finally does break and tells them everything that's happened that she couldn't share previously.
So she's the squad leader, right?
Rhiannon is.
Yeah.
Squad.
Who's the wing leader?
It's Dane.
What a little bitch.
Okay, but also, do we need to talk about Dane's redemption arc right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I think we have to talk to how we got there, though, right? So, all right, so we're going to have to move fast forward ahead a little bit in the story. We have a couple minutes before we have a meeting. That's the gist of our podcast. So, but we're going to miss that part. So I'm trying to think this through my head. So, all right. So obviously Violet is meeting up with Zaden and he's explaining the whole plan that we have to stop. We have to like figure out how to put the wards up to help everybody. And at this point, as you said, Amanda, Violet's like, look, man, we're not going to finish this. And they're going to blame it on me. And they're going to yell at me. They're going to yell at me because I'm getting booped in the face with a stuffy otter. And then Violet's like, look, she's all like coming on to him hard, and then
we haven't talked about that.
That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
She's like, let's go. And he's like, for the love of God, don't do this to me. I can't handle it around you. And she's like, well, you're going to have to figure it out. And then.
But she's like, okay, so in her mind, she's like, he's never told her that he loves her. And she knows that he loves her. And he knows that she loves him. But she's like, I'm not going to say it first. Can you just take a leap? And he's like, fine. Which is not how I would have handled this. But I do understand why she's like, no, you can sleep with me in this moment.
Yeah.
Doesn't he say it in Aretia? When she wakes up after being poisoned?
He says it to us because he's narrating, but he doesn't say it to her.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so that happens. It was a lot of built-up tension throughout the entire book. So they finally get that out of their system.
Y'all, it was some soupy soup.
It was good. It was good.
I pulled an Amanda and had to leave a public space because I could not read.
When they started, I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. Amanda's making a face.
I was like, oh, they used the real names of all these body parts. I need to not be around people right now.
Speaking of which, I can't wait for our assistant head of school to read this book because it was recommended to her by Amanda, our lovely 70-year-old assistant head of school.
First of all, don't rush her. She's in her 60s. Second of all, here's what had happened. She was in our office. She was talking to us about books. And we were like, what kind of books do you like to read? And she was talking about what kind of books she would like to read. And she said, and I like anything with dragons. And I said, have you read Fourth Wing? It wasn't a recommendation. It was a question. And then she was like, no, but I'd like to. Is it about dragons? And I was like, well, it's a little explicit at times.
I can't wait for her to get to this book.
And I've seen her like 3 times since then, and every time I'm like, I should look this woman in the eye and be like, please don't fire me when you get to these scenes. But I maintain, based on the information she told us about how she feels about dragon books, if she can just get through it, I think she's going to like the book.
And I sat next to her in a meeting the other day, in which she told me that she had picked up Fourth Wing and was looking forward to starting it over the long weekend this weekend.
So if I'm not in the next episode, you'll know it's because I've been fired for telling our big boss to read smut.
Love it. All right. So Violet is trying to figure out, like, how do I make wards? And then she comes to she figures out that maybe the archives have the book I need. And go ahead.
Yeah, and she's been going back and forth throughout this whole section with Jacinia, our dear friend from the archives, to like get the right books. And so she's like shared some information with Jacinia. She's like, Jacinia, welcome to the revolution. Help me get some books. And so they've been going back and forth about that throughout the whole section.
Yeah, so she figures out that she needs the journals. Actually, I think it was Riddick who's like, I know more than you. He's like, we need the journals of the original people who made the wards, and they probably have them in the archives. However, since the archives are warded with the King's Ward.
Well, they're in like a secret area below the archives that Jacinia didn't even know existed.
Yeah. Since they need the blood of the king, who obviously won't do it, they're like, we have Aric, let's bring him in. And Zaden's like, nah. Well, all right, we're going to make this a little quick. Zaden's like, nah. And then they meet up, and that's when we find out that they hate each other vehemently.
Yeah, but he says the only person I hate more than Zaden is my dad, the king, so I'm going to help you anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should to be continued.
I think so, too.
All right. Well, we'll be to be continued. I can actually pause this and we can just add on to it, so they won't know it's to be continued. All right. Well, we are back. So it's just me. So they're off at a meeting or something, and I think it's secret confession time. For those who've been listening along, this is just for you, for time, our longtime fans. This one's for you. So we had read a book called From Blood and Ash, and that book is way better than what they thought. Gotta be honest here. I felt bullied into agreeing that it wasn't as good as it was, but it was good. It was good. I actually can't wait to read the next one, and they're wrong. And I hope that they listen to this, because that would be great. I really do. I can't wait to get back to Poppy and all of her shenanigans and nonsense. And let's see if they ever read this, listen to this. I don't know if they will. And we're back. Just took a quick 5-minute break, because we had to handle some situations at work. It wasn't 5 minutes, guys.
It's been like a week.
Yeah. So I'm posting at the same time, but it's been a week since the thing you heard seconds ago. What?
Why was that so serious?
Because it's funny. All right, so Kim took some notes on the things that we read, because that's what she promised she would do, to make sure that we don't talk about the same things. And Kim, you did a great job, right?
I would just like to apologize to our listeners for the fact that this entire episode has just been, as Amanda said, unhinged.
It's been unhinged.
We are just...
I'm sorry. This is the vibe that I've always wanted to go with, and this is great. This is S tier content. So last week we're gonna go. I think we listened to the last couple seconds, so I think I know where we're at. So what had happened was we're gonna Violet and Co. Right? They needed to find some journals, right, of the dragon riders back in the day who created the first wards. And basically she was like, I know where they are. They are in the archives. And Jacinia, my homegirl, is going to let us in. So they do, right? And they have to bring Aric. And anyone else want to jump in?
We talked about all this already.
Great. Okay. So then they're running out.
Well, so they run, they're in the archives, and they need Aric to go in, and he brings, I almost called her Feyre.
Violet.
He brings Violet in with him, and Zaden flips out.
Oh, yeah. He's like, that's my girl, son.
I hate that guy. I hate him so much. Anyway, so he and Violet are in there, and then the journals are like in a table, like under some glass or some shit.
Yeah.
And a tablecloth.
And it's warded.
So
they need the king's blood, which Aric
has. He like puts his hand through it, and it like
because he's the king's son.
Yes. So he has the king's blood.
Yeah.
And it messes up his hand.
Yeah, he's got all boils and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say something about this chapter. You know those like little sayings in the beginning of each chapter?
The quotes?
Whatever.
Quotes.
The saying in the beginning of this chapter was something along the lines of like, you don't want to be caught in the archives after the door closes. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna get caught, and they didn't.
They almost got caught,
but they didn't. So I was like ready for them to like spend the night there.
Well, and the whole point was that they had an hour to get in and to find the journals and get out because the archive seals to protect them overnight from not catching on fire. So there's no oxygen, so they wouldn't have survived. That's the point.
So this chapter was Ocean's 11 wing. It was great. They got out. They did the thing, right? So they get out. They're celebrating, right? They did it. They've got the journals that they need. Everyone parts their way. And good old Nolan, our friend Nolan, who has been caring for Poppy her whole life, right? And
he's been going through it. We don't know what's going on with him, but he's been going through it this whole book.
Did nobody catch what I just said?
You said Poppy.
Okay, thank you. She didn't.
Sure didn't.
So, hello.
Continuing with the unhinged nature of
So-
this episode, we now have a student visitor.
Nolan is like, girl, I got you. I'm gonna save you.
What do you think about Nolan's great betrayal?
Yeah, so this is where Nolan betrays Poppy.
Violet. Wait, I'm thinking where this could be from.
You don't know.
Just roll.
No, ask. Wait, I might.
It's from Fourth Wing.
Bye.
I know.
So, Nolan's like, have some drink, girl. And she's like, thank you, friend.
And she's like, this lemonade tastes weird.
And I'm
it's
like, you
what
stupid
is-
girl.
God, what's wrong with
She's
you?
so dumb. God. And then it all goes black. And she's out.
Like, it's her own trick to
I
poison
know.
the food and beverages of
So
others.
dumb.
And yet she falls for it every time.
She's so smart, and yet she's so dumb.
Yep.
Yep.
So she awakens as a prisoner. She's in what looks like the RSC thing that they did, right?
Sure.
Whatever. She's a captive, right? She's about to be interrogated. And then in walks Madame Morrible, right?
Why is she mad?
Bearish.
Okay, sure. Bearish.
Umbrage.
The Umbridge.
Okay, but you keep making him a woman, and I feel like it's important that he's an evil man.
He's an evil man. He's... I don't know. I got nothing. Anywho, so Varish comes and he's like, well, I'm gonna fuck you up. And that's what's going to happen. And you're going to tell me everything I want.
Oh, so I was saying Nolan's been going through it this whole book. And so Varish is like systematically torturing Violet and then bringing in Nolan to mend her so that he can torture her for longer, which it's implied, I guess, that that's why Nolan's been so run ragged this whole book, is because he's being used. That is kind of Umbridge-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think Umbridge like pretends like she's not evil, and I don't think Varish even makes a show of it.
Whatever. We don't talk about
It's
Harry
fine.
Potter, but I actually disagree with Umbridge.
Well, I was going to say that this is... So in the Throne of Glass series, there's like a whole half a book that is basically this scenario for like
Wow.
200 pages. So, yes, this feels very reminiscent of that to reread this.
Yeah, so he's literally torturing her. She's getting beat, like everything possible. Nolan comes, mends her, happens again. She's like trying to count the days. And then he brings in Dane. And it was a really cool moment. I liked, like, there was like, I wasn't actually sure what Dane was going to do, but he does memory read her. And he sees what happens. He takes Violet's dagger from Varish, and Varish is like, kill her. And he goes up to Violet and he's like, I'm sorry. Then he stabs Varish. Dane stabs Varish.
Because as soon as he sees Violet's memory, he's like, holy shit, the Venon and the Wyvern are real, and my dad tried to kill you.
Yeah.
And now Varish is trying to kill you also to keep this covered up.
And what's the thing that Violet's dad used to say? Like, I hope that you make the right choice when the time is right. Like, this feels like Dane is making the right choice when the time is here.
Yep.
Yeah. So
he's on probation from being Prince Bitch.
Yeah, he's bitchy right now. I still want to hold some bitchdom for him, just a little bit.
That's fair.
He's got to earn it back from me.
Yeah, he's on probation.
Yeah. So Varish is crumpling, right? And they're is this when? Yeah. So this is when we get some help. I think Zaden pops in, and so does Riddick or Garrick.
Garrick.
Yeah, they pop in, right, to come save them, and whatever, they reunite, whatever, and they're getting ready to leave. Guess who's back, guys? Mama. Mama's back. How do you feel about that, Amanda? Mama's back.
I don't know. I have no love for her mother. I struggled with this part because her mom is like, she wants time alone with her and she's like talking through it with her, but I'm just not really clear on, it seems like her mom knows stuff, but she's like bound by her duty, and so she doesn't want to like betray the college, but also she understands why Violet is betraying the college. Like, that's kind of how I read into all of it, but also I felt like we weren't really given enough to really fully assess how her mom is feeling about this situation.
Well, I think the way I read it was that, like, her mom knows, end of story.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything. And she repeats to Violet that she was like, you don't understand what it's like to have a child and to want to sacrifice for your children. And so, like, what I have done is to protect you. So, like, she was like, I'm trying to keep Navarre safe specifically because I want my children to be safe. So I don't care about everybody else and the Venon and the Wyvern because I only care about you living and thriving.
I think I have a hot take for her mom. And I actually don't think... None of us have read Onyx Storm. And I don't even know if what I'm about to say would be revealed in that one. But here's my hot take. So back in the beginning of the book, I was like, Violet's mom bad. I've actually done a 180. I think Violet's mom good. I think Violet's mom's Snape. I actually think that Violet's mom is doing all of this because they killed her dad. Because they killed her husband. Because she says, Violet says to her, you didn't want me in the scribes. And she's like, the love of my life was a scribe.
Yeah, but he died of a broken heart when Brennan died.
Well, that's what they say.
That's what they say, right? So you're saying that's a lie.
Yeah, so I think they poisoned him or something. Oh, there's our bell, guys.
But that's not real, but we have like 5 more minutes.
So I actually think that Mama is doing all of this, like double agenting this whole thing to like get revenge for her dad. That's what I think right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's a super hot take.
Okay.
I think that's like a temperate take. That's like a warm shower take.
Agreed. And Dad did die off screen, so you know.
Yeah. Well, I think we've reached the point where we ask the question, what's going to happen next?
Well,
we just kind of answered that, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
Well,
next.
they
yeah, we have a little bit left. You want to wrap it up or no?
Yeah. So they escape. They come out and they explain to all the people of Basgiath what the deal is, and they share the memory of the Wyvern and the Venon through their dragons, and some of the dragons may choose not to share that with their rider. But basically, they're like, you're with us or you're against us. Stay or come. And a bunch of them suit up, saddle up, and fly out.
Where do they fly? What's the name of the city?
Aretia.
That's it, guys. We've been calling it Aretia this whole time. I'm listening to the graphic audiobook novel, and they pronounce it Aretia. Another one that I don't like is Riordan, right? Zaden Riordan. They pronounce Riordan. I don't like. Actually, I hate that one more.
Yeah.
And they pronounce seagull. Seagull.
They don't. They don't.
Scale.
So what do you guys think is going to happen next? So like that thing I said, I don't think is going to happen in this book.
Well, I am going to reveal that I have received a spoiler.
How?
Because I was trying to remember who a character was.
Come on,
Because
dude.
you need to stop Googling character names.
I thought it was safe. I Googled spoiler free.
Who'd you Google?
This is not who the spoiler is about. Same shit as Film Blood and Ash. I was trying to remember who all the professors were. And so I Googled the professors and I found a guide and I found out information about another character who's not a professor who dies.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's in this book or in the next book.
All right.
But they were on a deceased list.
All right.
So that's what I think is going to happen next.
Someone's going to die?
Someone's going to die.
I mean, that's always...
It's a fair.
good guess.
It's a slam dunk right there. Someone's going to die. I will tell you when this person dies, who it was.
All right.
You can take guesses as to who you think it is.
I think I know. so
Yeah, I
I'm
guess
not
you
gonna-
can't take a guess.
I don't know. I can't think of it right now.
But Kim thinking she knows means it happens in this book and not in the other book. So that confirms what I...
Oh, no. It's Justinia. Oh, shit. It's Justinia. Oh, my God. It's Justinia. I know it's Justinia. I don't even want to look at her face. I actually just thought at the top of my head. All right. Anywho, Kim, what do you think is going to happen? She knows.
I have
She
no
knows.
thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
Zero.
So
Just vibes, no thoughts.
Just sounds.
I actually don't know. I mean, they have these journals, so they have to read that. They have to try to power up the wards, right? I am a little annoyed that like part 1 felt like a whole book, and now I have to like reinvigorate myself for part 2.
We also read part 1 like 7 years ago.
It's true. It's true. Not to our loyal listeners. Thank you, a handful of you. You're great. We love you all.
Also, the 13 of you who came back on YouTube
Yeah.
with our Night Circus episode.
Did any of you read The
Really
Night
impressed.
Circus?
I
Can
hope-
you let us know?
I really hope you just listened to us and did not read that one.
I feel like you got it.
Yeah. You guys are the real ones.
Like, you should read From Blood and Ash because it's enjoyably bad, like watching a bad movie. But you don't need to read The Night Circus.
Do we have any homework, Amanda?
We do, and then we should also talk about what else we're reading, and then we have to go.
Yep.
So I just finished a book. What's it called?
Oh, wait. I know the homework. I don't even know why you're doing this.
Okay, the homework is that you're going to read chapters 37 through 51.
Stopping when you see chapter 52.
You got it. What are you reading? Or what have you read since spring break?
I am reading part 3 of The Cruel Prince. Can I just start that? I forgot how much I love that goddamn book. Really fun read.
I have finished 3 books since spring break, and I started a 4th. I read You're the Problem, It's You, which is the sequel to Don't Want You Like a Best Friend. It was fine. I read The Alice Network, which I quite liked, and then I needed a break from heavy feminist historical fiction before I started reading The Women, so I took a little break and read Ina Garten's Be Ready When the Luck Happens, and I gave it 4 stars, but everyone should read it. It's just delightful. I read it in like 2 days. It's just really fun. You need a snack and a glass of wine. She's so joyful, and she's been through like some hard stuff, but the message of the book is literally be ready when the luck happens. Like, work hard and be open to stuff, but like say yes when good things come your way, because you never know whether it's a good break or a bad break. Delightful. Also, she really loves her husband, and it's really cute.
That's very sweet. So I very much identify as a book girly, as we know. I have read nothing else.
Whoa.
I know. I shouldn't say I haven't read anything else. I've been reading a lot of long-form journalism. So sometimes that's my break from like a longer book, is I'm just going to like read something that's only going to take me half an hour to read. So a lot of nonfiction, long-form journalism, but no books. Sad.
Wow.
Also, your boy locked down 3 Switch to 2 pre-orders today.
Oh my God.
Yep, sure did. All right, so your homework is to start from part 2
So chapters 37
through 51.
That's it.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this one episode that we recorded at once, in one sitting.
And just so you all know, if you liked this chaotic, disjointed episode, too bad, because we're going chapter by chapter for the rest of our lives, because this was really hard for me and I hated it.
Great. Thanks, everyone, for listening and/or no, it's just listening. Bye.
Bye.